Happy New Year, everybody. 2024 is here. Thanks for tuning in today's video where I will be revealing my surprise guest who is here in studio right here on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to Watch Me Work live stream number 234 here in the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel, where I show you my favorite extensions, tools, and tips for building and maintaining Joomla sites. I also work on Joomla sites, build them, maintain them, migrate them to Joomla 4. So if you're looking to hire someone short-term or long-term, send me an email, tim@cybersalt.com, and let's talk. All right. Did I say that right? Is it, let me just double check here. 234? Yes, it is 234. Well, we got a lot of people in chat, and I thought, oh, I should probably check my sound settings before I go live. And I guess there must have been an update pushed through to my computer last night or something like that, because there was no sound. So instead of 15 minutes of an awkward, frustrating beginning, we get to just start our video and keep going as well. Yeah, so Serge says Tim is lost in the woods. So my picture from this week. Oh, by the way, before I get onto that, today's video is brought to you by our channel sponsor, mysites.guru. Do you have a Joomla site? Of course you do. Head on over to mysites.guru, get a free site audit for it, and while you're there, check out all the tools and information that will save you time and money managing one or multiple Joomla sites. All right. Yes, now, Serge says Tim is lost in woods. Let me just say hi. Hi, Mary, Serge, Imran, Valerie, Bjorn, Mark DeChevre, Ivor, Rudiger, Jasleen. I wonder who Jasleen is. I think this is the first time that name's appeared here. Welcome, Jasleen. Serge, anyways, yeah, it's good to see you all. Now, you'll notice the background is not so great like right now because I'm going to get rid of the virtual background once I sneak our special guest in here. But I do want to show you that today's image is taken at Butchart Gardens. It's a world-famous gardens here in Victoria, British Columbia. And, in fact, let's just go to here. I think I can get rid of that. Yeah, all right. So, let's turn that off. And I was New Year's Day at the light display. Now, what you can't see here is that this is in a part of a forest in the garden, and they have, I don't know how many lasers they have in their shining lights up into the trees, but it is one of my favorite spots on that tour. They have a 12 days of Christmas that you tour through. The gardens are all lit up, LED lights, all kinds of special things. But this is one of my favorite things. So as you see, here's the trunk of a very tall Douglas fir and branches and everything here. All right, so that's the picture that I thought I would share with you today. So let me just turn the webcam back on. Now, I'm looking at in chat, people trying to, with their ideas of who might be the surprise guest that I have in studio today. And so far, it looks like that the consensus for the best guest, or that it looks like the only guest, is that Phil Taylor is here in studio. He's the owner of mysites.guru, my friend and sponsor of this video. But all right, of this channel. But let's see if it's him. Oh, by the way, let me just show you one other picture that I took the other night. I mentioned on that at that garden, you can go through different places and go through different things, see different lights. Lots of places to set up guests. This is another picture that I took when I was there. Let's just do that. Yeah. So there's a family that is getting their picture taken in one of the sleighs there. And that's also a clue about who my surprise guest is today. Some of you will recognize him. So I'm going to invite him to come on over now. And he's going to grab a seat next to me. And we're going to just go to... There he is. Look at that. It's Chaitan Madan all the way from Delhi, India.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Here visiting me over New Year's. He and his wife and their daughter. Now, let me just do one thing here. I have to turn off the filter. I was practicing this. So if I go to webcam, properties, the filters, and I turn off that filter. There we go. We get the whole office in the background there. Yes, there you go. Mary says nice. Serge says great. And let's see. Yeah, we are about the same size. I'm probably a bit taller than you, but and it is super bright in here right now. But that's that is bright. I don't know. Look, man, I didn't know I was that white. Anyways, so yeah, it's Bjorn says, well, a long time. So Chaitan got here on the 30th, he and his wife and their daughter Assis, and we've been hanging out. And actually, he got up to work in the middle of the night, and I could not sleep, so we actually ran into each other in the kitchen while I was eating a middle of the night bowl of cereal. I'm gonna have to fix how bright that light is.
Yeah, and I was getting a cup of tea at that time.
Yeah, he was getting a cup of tea getting to work up. All right, so just let me. I'm gonna pull this microphone over just a little bit here, and sort of just be off to the side here, and that will pick people up there. Imran says hi, Chaitan. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Imran. Thank you.
Yeah, all the way from Bangladesh. That's your neighbor.
Yeah, I think I've spoken to him before.
Yeah. All right, so for those of you that don't know who Chaitan is it 6 years?
2018, almost 6 years.
Yeah, 2018. So 2018 in December, Chaitan was born.
That's for couples.
Yeah, that's for couples. Yeah, there's that. I suggest that we call ourselves Chaitan, but he's never really gone fully for that. But I started out. I interviewed Chaitan because he, at the time, his company Joomla had the Asteroid framework, which is now open source. Well, it was open source anyways, but now it's being run by a community. And then we got to be really good friends, and we had a podcast about Joomla for about a year and a half. And then Clayton, that's my son's name. Chaitan's company's no longer working with Joomla, but we've remained really, really close friends over the last couple of years. So, anyways, enough talking about me. Hello, Chaitan.
Hello, Tim. Hello, channel. And Tim is as nice in real life as he is on the channel. He's a really, really nice Canadian and real life. He's been taking me around, showing me his beautiful state and province.
Yeah.
Not state, province. And his beautiful city. And it has been really nice last few days, spending time with him and his family.
Yeah, yesterday we did a whole bunch of shopping. Today we're heading up to my son's house up island for a cookout in the backyard. So, and then, so we've been having a good time. Bjorn says, does this mean the podcast is on again? No. It's a lot of work. But as far as talking to Joomla people, just tell them that they should come on the live stream. Oh, Mark DeChevra. Did I say hi? Yeah, I even mentioned Mark too. Yeah.
Mark's here?
Yeah, Mark is there. But anyways, yeah, so Mark's been probably one of the people most on my channel. But all right, so what brings you to, like, you flew all the way here just to be here, right?
Just to be with you. Yes.
No. What brings you to North America?
North America, work. But to British Columbia, Vancouver, Tim.
So you've been traveling 7 weeks.
This is my 7th week. Yes.
Yeah, your 7th week. Yes. So you went first to?
I spent the first 5 weeks on the East Coast of America. So New York and Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, just those areas. And then I flew up to Toronto. This was 2 weeks ago. We spent the week there. Went to see Niagara Falls. Pretty beautiful. First time.
It was wet though.
It was wet. Yeah. It was raining. The first day it was raining. The second day when we were gonna come back, it was a little okay. But it's beautiful. Even in the rain, it's beautiful. On the night, during the day, it's beautiful. Right. First time from the Canadian side. And then I flew over here to Victoria to be with my friend Tim.
Got a nice direct flight from Toronto to Victoria, which we don't often really have access to.
Well, when you're traveling with a 2-year-old, you don't want to make stops. And, a 5-hour flight with a layover would turn to a 10-hour flight, which is a nightmare.
No. Mm-hmm. All right. So what have you been doing since last you and I were online together?
Working a lot. I have a kid, so spending a lot of time, managing the kid. Like I manage websites. I don't know if that is a thing. Managing
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
I think that's called parenting.
Right. So parenting. I wouldn't say I'm very good at it. I'm learning that, and since it's
I think he's a great dad. I've been watching.
I'll take
they're
that.
doing great.
I'll
They're doing
take
great.
that. But still, it's our first kid, so we're doing what we can, and getting a lot of work done. And the recommendation, even though this is Joomla channel, we all love Joomla. He had me pledge on a fire before I came on, but still, I was, when we jumped into the kitchen early morning, it was like 3 a.m. or something. uh, Tim was, we were talking about, how, a lot of my clients over the years have switched over to WordPress. And that's what's going to happen to, the remaining of the websites that are there. So sooner or later, that's going to happen. And I was telling Tim how WordPress is, just taking over the world. And sooner or later, we have to jump on the WordPress bandwagon to continue to make the living that we have been making so well with Joomla so far.
Kuram says hi from Pakistan.
Hi, Kuram.
You can say hi to him.
Hi. That's what I said.
Yeah,
I said
he's
hi
in
to him.
Pakistan, so it's probably Punjabi, right? Or Urdu, which is close to Hindi.
Yeah, no, so my mother tongue is Punjabi. Most of the Pakistan is from Punjab, was like separated from Punjab as well. So most of the Pakistanis do, speak Punjabi.
Good. Valerie's got a question there that you guys can answer for about Favicon. I would try Foca Favicon. Phil Taylor is in chat. Hey, everybody, leave a comment and ask if you want Phil to come on and do a live stream. I mean, I would love to have him in my place. I've been to Phil's place. I visited him for 3 days 5 years ago. But even to have him on a live stream, because he's got a whole bunch of stuff to show that's happening with mysites.guru, which, as he points out, if only there's a way to manage Joomla and WordPress sites, so he does
In
both.
one place, right?
So if you want Phil on the channel, I've stopped bothering Phil about coming on a video, but that doesn't mean that you can't ask him in chat.
He's probably busy driving his Tesla, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Phil's Tesla. Serge is Kevin's Guides web design. Okay, that might be a link for Valerie. Yeah, so now but your business has expanded, and I actually have some questions here. So we're going to talk about business stuff first, and then we can talk about other things too, because I'm interested in your impressions of Canada and stuff like that. So, let me just find where those.
That's my impression of Canada.
Oh yeah.
A.
Chaitan and I have been finding Indian people everywhere. And actually picked up a rental car today, an SUV, and because I'm taking them over to Vancouver on Friday, so they catch their flight early Saturday. And they got
don't tell the exact dates, because when I was flying here,
okay.
I had a 15-hour flight and somebody got into one of my servers. So we're going on Monday. That's when my flight
Sure,
is.
whatever you say. Anyway, so when I was picking up the rental, it was an Indian guy with an accent that which is fine. Nothing wrong with accents, but Chaitan seems to. You do the accent. You do the accent really well, right? So try to sell everybody something.
No. You go ask your questions and I'll answer them with the Indian accent.
Not. Okay, let me find my questions here, because I had to reboot to get the sound working here.
It's in the tab up top on the left.
Oh yeah, there it did. It did open up. Okay, so you do the accent and then you talk normal.
I don't know what to say. Ask me something. I'll try to do
one of the things that Chaitan's company is doing is cold calling people about solar panels, right? For another company.
About roof home improvements. That's a
home
pilot.
Improvements.
That's a pilot project. Nothing to do with WMW. It's a different company name, but yes, I'm involved in that.
All right, so I'm going to answer the phone. Hello.
I can't do it.
You can't do it? Okay. All right.
I'll just laugh out on my.
You just laugh out.
voice.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. All right, so a couple of questions that I have, and this sort of piggybacks on my plans for success in 2024 live stream that I did last week, and that is, what are your tips for managing clients in different countries and time zones? Different time zones.
I mean, I work weird time zones anyway. Most of the client base I have is in North America, East Coast, and I'm working weird times when I'm not here to manage them. But I think there has to be a certain commitment, and there has to be certain time out of the, so you have to just commit to a certain amount of time during the day in order to get stuff done. And we were talking about this morning, right?
Yeah,
What
3,
is
3 a.m. this morning.
right? What is the one thing that can take somebody from where they are to the next level? I think it's reliability, and to be reliable, and to be a business owner, and a lot of people can relate to this. You just have to be available 24/7. There is no, you're leaving the work-life balance, and there is no turning off or turning on. You're almost always available, right?
Yep.
As long as you can do it. Some people, due to their family setup or their work setup or their availability or their age or anything, they might not be able to do it. But as long as I am able to do it, as long as they are able to do it, I think they should do it.
Oftentimes when we have people visiting us, I think, I better check to see if there's new comments to moderate, or has anyone sent a request for something, or is everything running well? And it's always like, you feel a little self-conscious about checking your phone or just stopping and doing something quick. But with Chaitan here, it's like, I think he does it more than I do it. So that's we'll be driving along talking, and he just checks his phone. Da-da-da-da-da. Then yesterday we came home from shopping, and you had a headache, and then
I had an emergency to deal with.
Yeah, then you had another headache to deal with as well. So
so during a headache, I had to deal with an emergency, and if I hadn't done that, there would be a lot of loss for that client. So things like that. You have to put the personal self aside while you're doing that. Now, maybe this is not correct recommendation, but that is what has worked for me.
So my goals for this year were one of them is to not work past 10 o'clock. So New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, we were at my daughter's house and her family. We went over there, played some games, and hung out till the New Year. But then, anyways, New Year's Day, I thought, okay, I'll just do a few things here before we go to bed, and and I thought, oh, wait a second, I'm not going to work until after 10 o'clock. What time is it? And it was 20 after 10 in the evening. I went, oh, man. So I shut it all down. So again, last night, after a long day and chilling and watching the news in the evening with my wife, with Susan, I thought, I'll just go on and do a few emails quickly. I'm working away. And I thought, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not going to work past 10. What time is it? 11 o'clock. So, oh, no. So, it is a challenge if you're going to keep track. And I wasn't even in touch with anyone. Although, typically, though, late at night, around that time is when I would start getting support requests from people waking up in Europe. So
that's what I'm saying, right? You have to find that balance. Yeah. There is no one size fits all that can be applicable to anyone. This is what has worked for me. I am more than happy to support it as long as I can.
All right. What are your tips for working or managing team members in different time zones?
I think delegating and trusting them. So this is something I had not done. And, you were complimenting me on this just yesterday after hearing me talk to my folks. This is something I did not do for a long time. I wasn't good at it. I always thought of myself as, I can only do some things, and hard to find others. Sure, I can do 20 other things that I will have to find 20 other people to do. So what I have started doing is not expecting somebody to be able to do 20 things. So I expect them to, only do one thing. The book you were telling me about, where you think of it as a franchise business, as a McDonald's, right? So in McDonald's, what happens is there's one guy's cashier. He's an expert cashier. When you're running a business, you're also invoicing. You're the cashier. You're the one grilling the burgers. You're the one, cutting the lettuce. You're the one, putting the ketchup in the jars, everything. So what you have to do once you have the resources is delegate tasks to people and train them on those tasks so they can be experts. So I think that is something I have been evolving and getting good at, is trusting people, trusting them with tasks that I wouldn't do that before. And as I have done that, it has been really good. I've been, more than happy with the outcome and feedback of it.
So you have 50 employees. They're not all doing web stuff because there's some that you're supplying services for other companies. How's that structured so that it flows for you?
Yeah, so in most cases, in bigger companies, the way it works is, you have hierarchies of teams, and, once you get to a certain level, you're only talking to a leader of the team, sort of a team leader, if I may. And you're talking to that person, and that person is, let's say, managing their team, and all the teams are structured in a manner. So if it's a development team, we have a designer, we have an account manager, we have a QA person, we have 2-3 developers, and they're all working together. And you get updates from really the account manager / project manager. And really that's what, our stuff is at. Some of that is still unstructured, some of the old folks that I've had, 5-10 plus years. But most of the stuff, the way it's structured is we have teams dedicated to clients or projects / products. And those teams are really working on that particular product. And, we use ClickUp for task management. Sometimes it's Asana, sometimes it's Zendesk. It's more of a client thing as well. Sometimes some clients prefer to use one thing, and other clients prefer to use other. Internally, we prefer ClickUp. And really it's, that trying to make sure, that team is running smoothly. You have, members who can contribute to the team. And I am, in most cases, really talking to the account managers and project managers and making sure things are flowing and supporting them. I'm still involved and supporting them and, doing that. But most of that is really just making sure things are flowing nicely. And, wherever they are not, you help to make sure they continue to.
Okay. Hello in chat, Derek. Good to have you here today. All right. So in the beginning, there was just Chaitan. What was your first hire? What was the first hire that you ever did to help lighten your load, or even what was your reason or for that first hire? Like what role or what job or?
Yeah, the first person, there were a lot of people I hired that are no longer with the company, but I would like to talk about the person that is the oldest today. So like Chandan, you know Chandan, right? Yep. He's one of our guys. Got recently married. Congrats.
Congrats, Chandan.
And he was the first person that I think I hired. This was back in 2010 or 11. And I remember, I specifically remember they had released Joomla 1.6 or 1.7. And then Chandan was working on a holiday trying to get all our templates to work on Joomla 1.7, even though they used to work on 1.5. And again, so I do want to extend this a little bit. Chandan was the first hire. He's still with the company. Excellent designer. Pretty much 90% of the work done on all the templates in Asteroid was done through him via his team, but under his guidance, right? So very knowledgeable, very, trustworthy guy on that end.
So you hired Chandan. Were you programming back then?
I was learning to program.
Okay, and then did that take the load off you, or was that just?
Oh yeah, no, totally. So he was he learned to be he didn't have any background, neither did I, right? So we don't have a technical background to do this work. We just kind of got into it and worked our way out. And he really, the way I wanted to use his skill set was, I taught him HTML and CSS because PHP is hard, right? So HTML, CSS first and then PHP, and taught him how to do templates. So we used, SiteGround had a lot of templates back in the day. They were doing these templates to get links back. So at the end of, every template, you had a link at the bottom which says, free template, Joomla template by SiteGround hosting, right? Something like that. So they were just trying to get links back from thousands of websites. And we would really use their template and then change its colors and release it as our template. Again, it's open source, right? There was nothing wrong with that. And he contributed a lot to that. So, there wasn't a lot of code editing. We edited the copyright message in the PHP files and the CSS files once. And then it was really like, okay, let's modify this to look it like this. So there was a website called AWW, like 5wsawards.com or something. I think there still is. They just release lists of good looking websites every day, every week, every year. So we'd go to that every day, figure out what is a website that won the website of the day award, and then we would copy that design to the best we can and then release a template. So that's why the original templates, if you look at, if that's somewhere still available, was like, JD School or JD Restaurant, because we didn't know what to name them. We would just see, okay, there's a school website that got this award. We'd try to copy that, and the name of the template is JD School, right? And the next day, there's a restaurant website that won the award. We'd copy that and say the name of the template is JD Restaurant.
Okay, my favorite template name from back in those days was JD Cervix.
Oh yeah, that was yeah. It's your name, right? You don't like the template, just the name. I get it. That was also
goodness.
So at this point, Naveen was the one putting the names together, and that's another person that has been with the company for a while, for a very long time. It's a member I really trust.
Yeah. All right. So moving. So you've done well because of hiring and building, but you've got some really faithful, stable people that are reliable after all these years. Mm-hmm. And one of them is Naveen.
Oh, Naveen is there. Yes, he's very reliable. He's someone jack of all trades guy, right? He'll figure out anything and everything for you, but his specialty is in marketing, which I would say he's not very good at, right? But yeah, and anything else you tell him.
Hi, Naveen.
We recently lost a client, a marketing client that Naveen was supposed to deliver for, and he didn't, right? But he's really nice, and he's a jack of all trades guy. You get him anything, get him to do anything, and he'll deliver whether he can or not.
All right, cool. Whenever I'm taking Chaitan and Jasleen and Assis to Vancouver, before I catch the ferry home, I'm going to be meeting with Gernur, who is the co-op student, the first co-op student. I guess he's technically my first hire from 2 years ago. So I've never met him in person, and he's just across the way. So he is really good too. I'm really grateful. As we were talking about, Chaitan and I were talking about that. He's really stable. He's in school and he's doing other co-ops and other things, but I know how much time he has. I know what I can entrust to him, and he is. I have good confidence in him. So, because reliability is great too, but faithfulness or loyalty is really nice too, because that gives you a bit of that crossover connection of relationship. Mm-hmm. All right, so I was really excited last week. I guess it was just last Friday when I was doing the live stream. Some people talking about their goals for 2024 in business and success. And after having done, it's basically been 6 years since I've been full time. And in that time, I've seen a lot of people in the who are regulars here on the channel really growing, not only in the Joomla stuff that they're doing and the answers that they give, but also growing in their businesses. Because so a couple of years ago, I said to people, and have been saying, if you take your skills and what you know about Joomla, there are people who need web pages and services that know less than you, so then you can start to make a little bit of money on the side. So now you, I don't know if you want to share your beginnings, because I think I think your story is encouraging to people who there might be people out there who just feel like, oh, I don't think I could do that, or what opportunity would I have, or anything like that.
Yeah. So the beginning was really rough, right? I think when I started, I was out of high school and trying to make ends meet. And I'll skip the part, on how I started, but,
Yeah,
really
yeah,
get to the part
yeah.
where I started doing websites. But it was really out of desperation and figuring out. I remember, one thing specifically, I couldn't figure it out for weeks. So even today, when you want to send an email through a website, you have to use PHP. You cannot use that you cannot send an email using HTML. And because I learned HTML and CSS first, I for weeks could not figure it out. And YouTube wasn't a thing back then. We didn't had Gravity Forms or RS Form or Contact Form 7 or any of that stuff that we have today for Joomla and WordPress. So it was really, really hard. And when I bought my first hosting account, I remember I bought a Windows hosting account because I work on Windows. Only after getting the account and 3 weeks later trying to use it, I figured out it can't run PHP. That's for ASP.NET, and you have to get a Linux account in order to run PHP. So I made a lot of mistakes along the way, mistakes were mostly learning points where I did not knew stuff, and I just tried to do my, the best of what I can. And but chugged through, and like I said, desperation, met some out of desperation was working, met some great people like yourself, and who are actually paying me, and
I've never paid you.
that's what I'm saying. No, you did pay me once.
Oh, did I pay you?
There was a thing we worked on.
Oh, that's what we worked on together. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you did pay me once, but yeah, met some great people along the way. And they like the reliability part. I like them. We click things off, and before we know, there's a lot of work happening. It's bringing stable income. And we're delivering stable work, and it's going really good. Yeah.
Bjorn says, learning by doing, best value.
Yeah. It takes a lot of time though
Yeah.
to get there, but yes, learning by doing is how I got where I am. Yeah.
So I appreciate you sharing that bit, those two stories, because I even now when I get stuck, and we all get stuck on stuff at whatever level.
Totally.
I've just come to realize, oh, this is what I do. This is part of what I do. It's like, oh no. So for instance, there's tech that, like my phone. There's tons of stuff like. You guys know that I've got the Galaxy Fold, so it's folds and opens. Well, when it is open, there's a way to split it into two screens. I do that accidentally sometimes, and I think that's really cool. I wish I knew how to do that when I wanted to, but I just don't have time to learn that many things. Like, I keep learning the things that I need to. So if for those of you that are out there and starting out, or if you're thinking of trying something, or even if you've got, if you've got a friend that has a dog walking business and they need a web page, just a static page and a contact form and stuff like that, and you're going to set that up for them, charge them a little bit of money, get them hosting with you for a bit, maybe even on your own hosting account just to offset the cost, and you get stuck on stuff, and you feel like, oh, should I be doing this? Or, oh, no, I can't do this. I should be doing this. Just keep going, because everybody is there in that place, and you just need time and practicing, and you'll get better at it. And so I have always found that I get better at things when I'm using an extension and I see, oh, I can do this if I want. Mm-hmm. Oh, I never thought of that, and then it adds. Or someone asks you for something, and then you've got to go looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of the things I would recommend for folks who are getting new, like, again, a lot of resources did not existed back in the day. There was no YouTube, so you couldn't go to and find a video on possibly every topic, right? And ChatGPT, if you're not already using it, that's insane, right? That's insane. You can literally ask ChatGPT, okay, my site's broken, and here's the syntax error I'm getting. I'm on Joomla 4 and this, and try to, in most cases, it gives you right recommendation. If you're a developer already coding, we use ChatGPT. We use GitHub Copilot, which is the coding extension of ChatGPT. So, by same, and it's $10 a month per user. We have it for everybody on our team and myself. And it's great. It gives you great recommendations. You're actually coding faster. Somebody recommended it. I used it myself, and it was good. And we bought it for everyone. So that's something I would recommend as you learn your way through. Try to use these tools that we have at our disposal. That really makes things, doing things easier compared to what it was maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And I'm not saying I had it hard. I had it pretty easy, right? I mean, imagine going back to 60s, 70s, those guys trying to code and do things.
Yeah. I had never thought to look for an official Android app for ChatGPT. So I kept going to a browser on my phone and then go to ChatGPT and then be logged in, and then I would ask. So then Chaitan wasn't here very long. Chaitan's a ChatGPT evangelist, so he likes to hold a service as soon as possible whenever he's in a new location. So I thought, oh man, why did I not think of that? So I looked, and he said, yeah, that's the app there. And it was, it's way easier that way. So one of the most recent uses, so yeah, like I said, New Year's Eve, we're at my daughter and her family's house. Here on the West Coast, and Mary maybe can confirm this because she is in Washington State. New Year's Eve is complicated in North America on the West Coast because all the attention is on New York and the ball drop at 9 a.m. Pacific time, our time, midnight in the East Coast. So what typically people do is like around midnight they'll turn on the TV and they'll watch the ball drop in New York City. They know when New Year's is. Everybody's waving and happy and all that. You kiss whoever you're there with, and then that's great. So on the West Coast, it's like, hey, let's watch a New Year's Eve countdown, and they are super hard to find.
We were trying to find fireworks.
Crazy, and every year it's the same thing. You're looking on YouTube. You're looking on what? Anyways, so this year at about 20 after 11, I said to my son-in-law, I said, hey, what have you got a live stream or something for us to watch at midnight? He says, oh yeah, it'll be on there. So I said, well, it's challenging to find every year, and so we started looking on the apps on his TV. We were searching and going to, and there was one that wasn't working on the news company's website, and so then what I did was I opened up the phone, opened up the ChatGPT, and I just basically spoke to it and said, where's there a live stream that we can watch New Year's Eve 2024, blah, 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 blah. And the answer came back is like, if you want to watch a live stream of New Year's Eve or the New Year coming in of 2024, then go to King 5. King 5 News is going to start streaming at 11:35 and da 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 da. And it just told me specifically, and that was after checking a bunch of things. And then we went to King 5 site. Their stream wasn't working, but then we looked for King 5 on YouTube and then we had what we wanted.
Yeah. So Imran says he used JD Austin. Serge says he still uses JD extensions and follows Asteroid.
Yeah.
And again, those were JD Austin was like JD New York was the first template because New York, right?
Yeah.
And then we did New Jersey, and then we were like, oh, what's the next city we do? Rhode Island, right? then we looked up, major metro cities, Austin, Dallas. We did free templates for all of them. Again, never paid really good attention to the naming convention. It was really trying to come up with a different design and say, okay, you can use something like that. But glad to see that the work we did was actually useful to a lot of people.
Yeah, someone the other day said, contacted me, said, hey, what do you recommend for templates? And I said, well, I'm using Template Creator CK, and gave him a link to a couple of videos of me using it. And I said, but here's some other options you might want to check out. And one of them was Asteroid.framework, just because they were looking for something free, and I kind of picked up from them asking the question where their user experience was, that I knew that would be a good one for them. I think they've gotten rid of the splash screen too. It loads really fast now.
Oh yeah,
faster.
Yeah. Oh sure, I'm sure. Every year, every month, I see. A couple of months they have done releases, and they're doing a good job at maintaining. I think there are like 2 different people maintaining 2 different versions of Asteroid right now. But yeah, they're doing
and
a
that's
good
the
job.
community. Someone else also forked it, but I don't think much is happening with them on that.
Yeah,
I don't see anything. I don't see any promotion of it or anything.
I don't closely follow it. I don't try to. I've got a lot of work to do. But I do stumble upon it whenever we still get requests from our website where folks are like, hey, we need help with this and that. And we just politely say, okay, we can't do it. And somewhere in those requests, I would go and look up where, things are currently with Asteroid, who's looking after it. Last I looked was a couple of months ago.
Okay.
And I think there were 2 people actively going after it and maintaining it and giving updates.
Serge, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in. Serge says...
hey, Serge. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
And he says, please come back. Karam, he used ChatGPT for 8 months. This is very helpful, helping fixing code.
Right, exactly.
Imran said that he was using it to write blogs. He had to keep rewriting. Wasn't a good experience for him. Yeah, I think content is probably one of the sketchiest things. There's some AI company out there. I just saw the story, talked to Chaitan about a few days ago, that scraped the internet. Mm-hmm. Scraped all of Getty images, all of their images,
right,
and then started using those images in ads that people were generating using this AI product. And like one of the examples was, it was a Getty image of one of the Beatles, like an iconic image, and someone just went in and created an ad and it offered up this thing. Anyway, so Getty Images is suing that AI company for $1.3 million? Trillion dollars for copyright infringement. And in the article, it also said, if you created an ad and used copyrighted material like that, and the AI suggested it, you are still responsible legally, and it's something like $115,000 per instance that you can be sued. So the content aspect of it, you have to be very careful with. Mm-hmm. But things like coding.
I think it's really useful on a day-to-day aspect. I'll give you some examples. So when I have to write a long email to anyone, to my clients, to my employees, to friends, and I know the context of the email. So for example, saying, write an email to Tim saying, hey, your invoice is overdue. I'm going to close your account if you don't pay by the end of the month. Right. Something like that, right? And I can say, write it in a formal manner and write it under 500 characters. So what you have to be good at when you're using ChatGPT for non-coding stuff is good at giving it prompts, because that's really what it's all about, right? If you give it good prompts, if you ask the questions, the more information you can give, the better it will be. So, at one point you're giving in 500 words to get back 500 words, right? So don't look at, the amount of work you're putting in. Slowly you get there, but it's really making sure you set clear instructions and boundaries for the software to follow. And the output of that is fascinating. Yeah. It's giving you exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hello, Michael. Thanks for joining us. Yes, Chaitan he's not lost in the wilderness of Canada.
Hey, Mike.
He knows where he is. He's on the left coast of Canada. So
left? Yeah, is it left? Yeah. Left coast of Canada.
Yeah, it's still so early days for for AI as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, in ChatGPT 4, which I think I'm paying like $20 US a month. Mm-hmm. It's because we're in Canada, so I have to say the US amount, right?
I pay 20 as well.
Yeah. I don't know what ChatGPT 5 is going to be. It's going to be insane because 4 almost reaches out and gives you a back rub. Mm-hmm. Valerie says it's a bit cryptic. Do you like to join in with? Sorry. She's talking about with Mary and gunfire on New Year's Eve and goats. Mary's goats. I did see that question. are the goats and the guns close. Mary has to keep the guns away from the goats, or else the goats go wild, right? So that's the one kind of gun control they have down in the States. You got to keep the guns away from the goats, so
That's the only gun control.
so the guns don't go crazy. All right, so let's see. All right, so your impressions of this is your first time to Canada. You were
Yes.
in Toronto first.
Yes.
Yeah. And now, which is a busier part, not as busy as New York City though. Right? And then now you're in a suburban part here,
Right.
and there's a lot of trees and wilderness. We drive, not wilderness, but forest and that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
So my expression of that, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. What do you think about Canada?
Canada is beautiful. It also has a lot of immigrants, and it can also use a lot of immigrants. So a lot of people I know from South Asian countries, including but not limited to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and some other, Iran, Iraq, a lot of people I met on the way, have a chance of a better life in Canada if they can, make their way legally to Canada.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of good opportunities in Canada for them. You get treated well, and there's good lifestyle. There's clean air. A lot of things that a lot of folks don't have back home. You would have them here.
Okay. And the people?
People are really nice. Say sorry a lot.
Yeah, we do say sorry a lot. Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Yeah. And say hey a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, right. But yeah, people are really nice too. And due to my impression of Toronto is a little different. That's not Toronto anymore. Maybe that is Toronto with all the immigrants. I don't know. I've not been to Toronto before, but my impression of visiting any North American city in the U.S. is a little different than when I visited Toronto. With all the immigrants, the culture is a little mixed up, and it's getting there, right? But like I said, a lot of people from different backgrounds coming into making the life and living the dream that they imagined and wanted to live.
All right. So, what are your? Do you have any goals for this year?
I told you, right? So while I've been on this
Well, I
trip,
know, but I.
yeah. But while I have been on this trip, I have been working a little less. I haven't been able to put, good 8-10 hours of screen time that I would when I'm back home. And my goals for this year are to continue that, but make sure we get a lot of work done too. So be able to being better at delegating work and getting done, and at the same time being a reliable partner for my clients.
Yeah. And then that, because you want to have a life too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Chaitan brought me a model of the. It's not really a model.
It's a model.
Yeah, but I think in North America, a model would be where you take a bunch of pieces and glue it and paint it and all that. So this was
You
more.
screwed it.
Yes,
It's an equivalent of that. I bought him a
I wouldn't
model of
exactly have
Taj
said I
Mahal.
screwed it.
Not screwed it. What do you call it?
I'll go get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Behave yourself while I'm gone.
Okay, it's upstairs. So I bought him a model, a small model, let's say a 10 by 10 inch model of Taj Mahal. And he really liked it. He made it. Tim and his wife have never been to India. So that's my one way of telling him to come visit me and see the Taj Mahal. And, there are a lot of good things in India for them, for North Americans and Canadians to see and experience. So I'm really looking forward to when and if he makes the trip, and he's most welcome. And there he is.
Here I am. Here we go. Oh, let's see. Is that? Oh, yeah. And this is like, is this like a glass, right?
It's marble.
Oh, marble. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, that's pretty cool. I didn't know it was marble. I knew it wasn't ceramic.
Mm-hmm. So these pieces of marble are glued to each other.
Yeah.
And all you're doing
Okay.
is, tightening the screws, not screwing it tight. That's what I was looking for.
I opened up all the
Tightening.
pieces and screwed it together, yeah.
Tightens the screws, okay?
Yeah.
Opposable thumbs.
I think they're still talking about gunplay and stuff like that in the States.
I think they're talking about your thumbs. Show them your thumbs.
Oh, everyone's seen my thumbs before. I don't think they're talking about that. They are opposable. Imran says it's not Taj Mahal, right? What?
It is Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's see. So we're going to go do a cookout at my son's place today, up island. It is cloudy but not raining, so that's pretty cool. And what happened here? Did you move this?
I did not.
I told you not to touch
I
anything.
did
with
not. You will see it in the playback.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I moved this here. This is the thing here. All right. I will watch this back. Watch this back.
It's life.
Any final words?
Tim is a great guy. As great as he is on videos, he is even better in person. Very generous. He has not been putting in a lot of work and has been just taking me and my wife out to wherever we want to go. He's actually been giving me company as well. So, I mean, another person would say, okay, you're here, go do your thing. Tim is like, I'm going to take you, help you do your thing, and then bring you back. So, very, very generous. And in our economy, you barely see people do that for you or with you.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Let me just get
Shall we
started.
kiss?
No, we're not going to kiss.
Right.
Not on a camera, anyways. No, Chaitan and I do have a bromance. We do love each other as men, and what we've been doing things together. And if I'm being held captive by Chaitan, raise your right arm. My right or your right?
Exactly.
Let's see. Yeah. Anyways, everybody, thanks very much for tuning in, and thanks for enjoying my special guest, my surprise guest, and it's been great. So happy New Year, everybody. Hope just look forward to connecting to you. Things will be. I did not do a maintenance Monday this week. It was just too jammed, and I was too tired. I've also been kind of sick. This not
Because you were out with me.
Not sick, like, I don't think I'm contagious. I think there was one day during Christmas break where I ate very poorly and stayed up very late, and I think my body said, "Tim, you dummy, quit doing this to me." So yeah. So Imran, thank you for your kind comment, and Bjorn, Michael, everybody there. Yes, Derek, I think he'll enjoy the next couple days. But anyway, so thanks everyone for your support of this channel. And as usual, I hope that wherever this finds you, be it morning, afternoon, evening, or tomorrow, that you are well. Until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites and God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.